Hello and a very warm welcome to you. Thank you so much for tuning in and for watching as always, and if this is your first time, a very special warm welcome to you on this beautiful sunny autumn afternoon. We're live on Monday the 3rd of October 2016, and warm welcome to you and thank you to everybody for tuning in and for watching. If you're watching live or whether you're going to tune in a little bit later, welcome to this next episode in the Influences of Times series. As you can probably see behind me, we're currently standing outside our next location. Now, you probably remember, and if you've been watching and if you've been following, you'll probably remember the very first broadcast that I did, the very first live broadcast that we did from an amazing 13th century mansion, not too far away from here. The mansion itself was called Great Barr Hall. Now, Great Barr Hall is actually on an estate, or what was an estate, a huge massive area that covered a large massive woodland and private grounds, and the original driveway and the bridge still runs to Great Barr Hall to this day. Now, Great Barr Hall is actually probably only about a 10-minute walk away from here, and this is where our next location is. And in fact, it was only in just the other day, in fact probably 2 days ago, that I actually learned that this location behind me was actually still here. And so when I found out that this location was here, Influencers of the Times just had to come back and investigate. So without further ado, I welcome you to this location, the old Doctor's Chapel House in Great Barr. Now, this house behind me, or what's left of it, is literally, as I mentioned, just about a 10-minute walk away from Great Barr Hall, which was, as I mentioned earlier, I think it was a 13th century huge mansion, which is now in absolute ruins. In fact, just prior to this broadcast, I actually took a walk up there and revisited Barr Hall. And in fact, since that first broadcast that I did probably about 2 months ago, there's even more. The building itself has demolished even more. There's now massive chunks of concrete that have landed on the floor. In fact, as you go in through the main door, there are great big pieces of what's left of the outline of the window that has collapsed and fallen in. As you go inside, one of the walls has completely collapsed and fallen from the roof right down to the ground, and so it literally has deteriorated in just 2 months. And it was quite strange going back there. In fact, it seems to have changed slightly, and you can just see that there are signs that it's just deteriorating and falling apart, and it's such a shame because it's a beautiful location. So 10 minutes from there, we're now at this location. Now, as I mentioned, this is the old Doctor's house, which would have been the original Doctor's house to the old chapel, which is just 5 minutes away from here. Now, the church, or the chapel, it's more of a church, is still here. It's literally just 5 minutes in that direction. And this is the old Doctor's house. Now, I've already Googled and searched to find out more about this location, and in fact there isn't any information whatsoever. There's nothing. The only information that I could find was the heading to this broadcast, which was that this is the old Doctor's house that belonged to the Doctor who used to live in this house, and he used to take care of the chapel that was once just over there, which is now the church. And so this is his house, or what's left of it. That is all I can tell you. There's no details about how old it is, when it was built, when it was abandoned, when it was no longer lived in. It doesn't give any indication of the Doctor himself. It doesn't give any names. It doesn't give any information whatsoever. So unfortunately, I cannot tell you any more other than what I've just told you, which is that this is where the Doctor used to live, who used to take care of the chapel of the church just over there. So, without further ado, let's take a look. Let's have a look around. I've already taken lots of pictures, and as always, I've taken lots of photographs, lots of pictures, both inside and outside the building, and they will be posted on my Facebook page later today or tomorrow, and they will also be on my website. And as I always mention, if you go to www.camdronephotography.co.uk, and if you click on portfolio and then look underneath there, there will be a couple of headings, and you'll see Influences of Times. If you click on there, every single location that we've broadcast from, or every location that we've broadcast from, and all the photographs that I've taken both inside and outside every location that we visited right from the start, including Great Barr Hall and today's location, will be on the website for you to have a look at, and you can just see all the photographs. Now, unfortunately, I'm not really going to be able to put any information on there because there isn't any. So obviously I'm only going to put the information that I've already told you. But you can either go onto there and have just a little read, or you can always go onto Google and find out for yourselves. So let's go take a look and show you around. So I'm just going to pick you up, and let's just close this a little bit. There we go. Now, just before we go in, I'm not going to be able to tell you what the rooms, I'm not going to be able to tell you what each room was or what it was used for, because I have no idea. There's no indication whatsoever, and the only real indication of what rooms are which, some rooms have got, or one or two rooms have got tiles still on the walls, so I can only assume they would have been the kitchen. I can't, that's all there is. There is nothing else. There's absolutely nothing to suggest what each room's for. Now, we can't go upstairs because there is no stairs left, and there's absolutely no way of getting upstairs, and in fact there's nothing really upstairs anyway apart from probably 2 or 3 or 4 walls, and it looks like maybe what's left of 2 rooms, but that's it. But we can still go and have a look anyway, so let's go check it out. Let's go and have a look. If I just turn backwards, you can see. So there we go. Let's give it a bit of a better look. So if I just pan the camera around that way, so you can see that's what's left of the back of the house. Now, the front would have been that way, which we'll go and have a look at in a minute. This is what's left of the back of the house. Now, there's nothing to say that that was a garage or anything like that. So obviously that would have been the rear of the house. So that could have been anything. I have got no idea. I could speculate and say that would have been a lounge. I could speculate and say it was the front room. I mean, I don't know. It's the largest room, probably the largest room in the ruins, or should I say in the house. So I can only assume that could have been a lounge or dining room, but I'm not sure. There's nothing. There's no light fixtures, and there's just nothing to say what anything is, but I'm just guessing, so I could be wrong. But that's what's left of it, just there. But we'll go inside and have a look in a minute anyway. If I pan the camera around this way, that's looking more towards the front of the house. This part here looks like that could have been, it's quite a small room, and it's square. It's part of the house, it's not separate, so it's part of the house. That could have been storage, like a kind of shed or something. Everything's brick, so this building must have been old, because there's nothing wooden. If you can imagine, like a shed would have, nowadays is made out of either aluminium or metal or wood, so everything's stone. So this must have been a really, really old house. So I'm going to date this. I'm just going to speculate, so forgive me if I'm wrong, and I'm probably wrong, but I'm going to speculate and I'm going to guess. I reckon this is probably early 1900s. If it's got anything to do with Great Barr Hall as well, I'm going to put this back too. I'm judging by the brickwork, and as you can see, it's typical red-brown colour, so that's typical of Victorian times. So I would say by the design, we're talking early 1900s. So we're talking maybe 100 years old, this house. Sorry, the signal cut off then. I don't want you to think I disappeared. So I'm going to put this at early 1900s, which would make this house about 100 years old, maybe a little bit older. So let's go a little bit further and have a look. So if I just pan the camera this way, now you're looking towards more or less the front of the building. If I tilt it that way, you can see it goes up, right up. See it right at the top there in the trees? So that's kind of like the front of the house. Now the front door, there's no front door around the front there, so I can only assume the front door would have been just in there. That's what I'm thinking. But we'll have a look anyway, and we'll kind of see what's what. So let's just walk this way. I'm going to walk backwards, because at least that way you can get an idea, because if I turn it around, you're just going to see me and the trees behind me. But I want you to try and see. Let's go over this way a little bit. Okay. So this is what's left of the small room that I was talking about. You can see it's quite small. It's only a sort of small square shape, and there's no roof on it whatsoever, but it is quite a small room. Now I can see that this room had tiles on. Can you see what's left of where the tiles would have been in the walls? And I can see what's left of electricity, so it's just so hard to say. I've no idea. But by its size, it could have been I don't know. I just don't know. I'm just looking on the walls to see if there's any like ceramic, what's left of ceramic fixtures, which would have suggested a bathroom, a sink. There's some things on the wall over there, so this could have been a toilet, could have been a small bathroom, could have been. It's quite a big house, so there may have been more than one room the same, but we'll just continue to have a look anyway. Okay, so it's so hard to find out what's what. This could have been the main entrance. This could have been, I don't mean this big space here, but this could have been a way in. I really don't know. It's so hard when you haven't got clues and signs and fixtures to give you an idea of what was what. But this could have been a way, and this could have been a side door. I don't know. Bit vague, I'm afraid, but there's just so little information. Like I said, the only information is that this is the old doctor's house, and that's it. There's nothing else, so it's so hard to try and give you the information that you're interested in. So you're just going to have to bear with me, because it really is going to be guesswork, and just kind of see what we can see, really. I'm conscious it says the connection's weak, so if I'm a little bit blotching things, it's just because the connection's weak, but I'm hoping it's not going to cut out like we did a minute ago. Okay, so let's just have a look. This is probably quite an interesting bit, and I'm going to turn the camera this way because it's a little bit easier. So, can you see? So that's what's left of where a gate would have been. A gate would have just been there, and you can see there's a flight of steps. See it? If I turn the camera down, it's got a flight of steps. So, that would have been, that goes underneath the house, so that obviously would have been, I suppose, like a basement shed or something. Now we'll go and have a look. Now we can't actually go in there because it's actually full of water. There's a couple of inches of water, and then it's really stinky and smelly and dirty. But we'll go down the stairs and have a look, and I'll show you anyway, so at least you can see. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the camera this way. I know it means you've got to look at me, but it just shows, at least I can go down the stairs without falling backwards. So let's go down the stairs. You've got a little flight of steps, so come down. And if you look behind me, you can see, if I just do that. So you've got what's left of the wooden window, just here. And if I come down, there's a little bit of rubbish here, so bear with me. And like I said, it's really wet. Alright, what I'm going to... Okay, just bear with me because I'm kind of balancing on bricks, or what's left of them. So if I spin this way... do a little turn with you. That's it. So I've got cobwebs on me as well. It's really just cobwebby. So you've got what's left of the wooden door. Just here. Black wooden door. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to come in and I'll turn the camera around so you can see. But this is literally as far as we can get. I can't go in here because it's not so much pitch black, but it's really dirty and smelly and horrible. And I'm literally standing on tiny little bits of brick which are sticking up through the water. And this is as far as I can get. Oh, it's freezing down here as well. If I just turn the camera around, can you see? You probably can't see, but if I just turn it around, can you see the water on the floor? So this whole basement room is filled up with water. It goes quite a long way. You can see with the sunlight, you can see that speck of sunlight there. So the room goes all the way back there. And this must have been some kind of, like, you can see pipe, I don't know if you can see it, there's like pipe work hanging down from the ceiling. So this would have been the basement room. And if I spin it round, you can see it goes behind the door. So it just goes around there as well, tiny little bit. So yeah, so this would have been, like I said, storage, like an underground shed of some kind. So that's about all I can show you down here. I'm afraid there's nothing else to show you. Actually, we can't go in there because it's just literally filled up with water. And I've already had wet feet, and I really don't fancy standing in that water because it's really stinky. You wouldn't believe how smelly it is. Right, just come out. Oh. That's better. Oh, keep losing the signal. Right, just come back up the stairs. Come back up, and what I'm going to do, that's better. Come, that's it. Ooh, quite steep. There we go. As you can see, right, and what I'm going to do is pan the camera back up a little bit. There we go. Let's go through the trees. And we'll come this... Ooh, the sun's quite bright. Okay, let's just come around this way. So this... I'll just pan the camera up. So this, to me, looks like... I say the front of the house, maybe not the front as in entrance and doorway, but the front. And it would have been facing, because it's covered and surrounded by trees and woodlands and stuff, this would have been what would have faced the chapel or the church. And you can tell by the way that it's designed, and if I pan the camera up you'll see what I mean. So this to me looks like the front of the house, or what would have been the front. So if I pan it up there, can you see the way that there you go, that's better. Can you see the way it's designed? You've got that kind of arch-shaped window, and it goes, if I pan it more that way, you can see it goes quite high up. I don't know if that's the chimney up there, but that to me would have been the front of the house. So that could have been the bedroom up there. And then that is where all the tiles are in there, so I'm wondering if that might have been the kitchen. Could have been, but I'm not quite sure. Let's go around. So let's go around this way. So you can see where we were just a minute ago. We were down there. So that's where the underground basement would have been, down there. So let's go around the front here. Right. Oh. Just go under the trees. That's better. And there's literally bricks everywhere. Okay, so we're now coming into the house, but I really can't tell you which part. Okay, if I turn this way first, that's how big the house is. You can see just how big the house is. It's a really big house. It's possible this house may have had several bedrooms. I don't know, it just doesn't say. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm literally just guessing. It goes all the way back there. We'll go down there in a minute and have a look. There's nothing really to see, but we'll have a look anyway so you can get an idea of how big the building is. But it goes all the way back there, and it goes all the way across there, like that. And then we're standing next to, so the old paintwork's still here, like faded paint. And if I turn the camera around this way, I've got a room behind us. And if I turn this way, you can see, can you see how big the house is now? It goes all the way to the end. So it really was a big house. And then that's where we were looking just a minute ago. And if I pan the camera up, you can see what I mean. See it? There? So that's obviously upstairs. That would, like I said, would have been the bedrooms or something. But let's go in, have a look, and I'll take you around the rooms. Let's see what we got here. So this definitely would have been a toilet, and the only reason why I know that is because there's what's left of the drainage pipe that goes up. You know, when you, the back of the toilet, you've got that drainage pipe. That's all that's left, and it's a tiny room. So that's definitely a toilet. That's probably the only room in this entire house that I know what it is. That's it. That's it. Can you see it? That tiny bit of there. That's it. That's all that's left. So that was obviously a toilet. Tiny little room. And you can see just how small it is. Tiny little window. So you had your window here. So you've got still the wooden bits of wood still there. Not quite so much of a view now, but I'm sure it was quite a nice view at the time. But now, that's the view. Trees, brambles and nettles. But yeah, so this would have been a downstairs toilet. Like I said, that we've just got what's left of where the toilet would have been. There. So that's it. And what's left of where the light switch would have been. Yeah. That's all left. So let's go this way. Now if you're wondering what that vibrating noise is, if you can hear a vibrating noise, somebody's trying to ring me right in the middle of a broadcast. So if you can hear something vibrating or hear a noise, that's what it is. Right, let's stop now. Okay, so I'm reckoning this was the kitchen. Yeah, I reckon it's probably the kitchen. It's quite possible. Obviously, you had the kitchen window here, so it would have been a really big window. The only thing that's left of what's left of the door latches and window latches. So you've got one there. Oops, turn it around. See it? And then you've got that one. So you've got the window latches left, but it's quite a big room. You can, sorry, somebody texted me then as well. It's all happening today, isn't it? A phone call and a text right in the middle of a broadcast. Right, okay, hopefully I can carry on now. Oh dear. So we've got the white tiles. You can see the white tiles still attached. So that to me suggests that could have been where the sink was, or something there. Maybe the sink, kitchen sink, that kind of thing, just in front of the window. But you can see, just if I just do that, you can get an idea of how big the room is. Now that, no idea what that would have been. No idea. I don't know. I don't know if, obviously there was some kind of electrical appliance there. It could have been, that could have been where the cooker was. That could have been a gas outlet or something like that. So that could have been where the cooker was here, like a Rayburn or something like, or something even older. But that could have been where something electrical like that would have stood there. So that would have made sense that maybe the sink would have been just by the window, or perhaps possibly, see, yeah, it could have even been over that end. But all I can do is apologise. I'm really sorry that this is just really vague and sketchy, but I have got nothing to go on. I've got no information. I did loads of research and there is absolutely nothing that I can give you other than what this house was. That is all the information I can give you. So I do apologise if this isn't very interesting or fascinating, in the sense that you're not really getting anything from it other than what you can see and I can see. But as far as information is concerned, I just cannot give you any more. I just can't. And even when it goes to going onto my website later, the only information I'm going to put on there is that this was the old doctor's house, and that's it. It's quite frustrating because I really do want to make these broadcasts as fascinating and as interesting for you as possible. Not only by taking you into them, but by giving you as much information as possible so that you've got an idea of what this was and what happened and everything else. But I just feel lost in a way. I feel really lost, and I wouldn't say I'm struggling, but I'm aware this broadcast probably isn't as good as other ones simply because there's nothing to go on. And it really is frustrating for me because I love giving you that information. It's fascinating for me to find out for myself, but I love talking to you about it and telling you and being able to kind of express that. And I'm just finding I'm just literally, excuse the expression, stabbing in the dark. I'm literally just clutching at straws. I've got nothing to go on. So you will just forgive me if this is not very good, if this broadcast isn't as interesting as the other ones. However, I'm hoping that by taking you into each room and literally taking you to every part of this building, it will make up for that in some way. However, I understand it's not going to be the same as all the information that goes with it. However, I did think this would make an interesting broadcast simply because it was a hidden, derelict, abandoned place that I only found out about 2 days ago, and I just knew I had to come and investigate and bring you in here and let you see it, because at least now you know it's here, and at least you might not come here yourself, but at least you can see there is something here, and it's an old doctor's house, which in a way is fascinating because it's amazing to think a doctor lived here. I'm sure he had lots of friends, lots of people from the chapel or the church would have come, he would have had lots of dinners, that kind of thing. Who's to say he didn't have sick people come in here? Maybe he had patients, maybe he had people come and stay here, maybe he had people, or she had people staying here under their care. We don't know, it just doesn't say. However, this will be the first doctor's abandoned house I've ever been in. But it is fascinating. I just wish you could be with me. I wish you were here, because that would make that more interesting for you, because then you could physically be here. But you can't, so I'm just trying my best to make this as interesting as I can. But at the same time, I don't want to bore you by you looking at me all the time. I want to give, so anyway. Enough yapper, let's do some more. So we've got the back of the kitchen. When I say the back of the kitchen, that could have, okay, so that would have been where the light switch would have been. So the light switch would have been there, and it runs all the way up into the ceiling, right the way up. I'm going to hold on to the camera before it flops. Can you see there? That's where the light fixture would have been. Right there. You can see it now, there. So that would have been where the light fixture would have been, and then it runs, it stops there, And then in this corner over here, if you look, this obviously would have just been, I say, water, that kind of thing, pipe work. But that's it, that's all that's here. But at least you can see what the room's like. So there we go. So let's move on, let's do some more. Let's go and check out the rest of this place. Okay. I'm not going to be able to walk backwards because there's just bricks everywhere, and you'll see what I mean if I turn the camera around. That. See that? And that would have come from up there. So that's obviously what's left of upstairs, part of it. But let's go this way, down this way. So we'll just walk over the bricks. Okay, so we've got, alright, so we've got, ooh, I'm not doing too bad. 2 rooms I know what they were. Another toilet. There you go, the only 2 rooms I know, toilets. So we've got another downstairs toilet there, a really small one, same size as the other one. And you can see what's left of the toilet outlet, just there. And then you've got a window. So they had the bathroom, what we're saying, or what I'm saying, is the kitchen, and then you've got 2 downstairs toilets either side. So let's go. Just bear with me. I'm just trying to walk over all the bricks. Okay, so let's go this way. So that's what's left of the room that I said could have been a bathroom. So it's tiled up to that level. You can see where it's tiled to. So that could quite easily have been a bathroom of some kind. And there's what's left of some tiny, you can't see just behind here. I'm just going to show you actually. Down there. They to me look like, pointing at the tree, that looks like what's left of a ceramic bracket or something, like a tiled ceramic bracket. So it could have been a sink or something. So that's why I'm kind of guessing it would have been a bathroom, shower maybe, or something. Anyway, let's go and have a look some more. Let's go and see what else we can find. Okay, so we've got, oh, we can go back a bit. So this would have been the main, wasn't not corridor, but the main, what do we call it? I suppose it would have been the main corridor really, in a way. And then it would have come off, you've got lots of different rooms. So we're kind of more towards the back of the house. So the front of the house runs all the way down there, and you can see the end all the way down there. And actually you've got upstairs, just there. It's such a shame there's no upstairs left, but that's what's left of upstairs. Up there. And obviously above these rooms it's completely flat, so upstairs has completely fallen away, demolished, broken, whatever the case may be. So there must have been a lot of rooms up there, so you can kind of get an idea. I just wish I knew how many bedrooms there were or that kind of thing, but there's nothing. You have to excuse me because it's actually really cold and my nose is kind of running a little bit. It's not very nice, but sorry. Anyway, so behind. Okay, so here we go, looking towards the back of the house. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 4 rooms in a row. Biggest room is at the back where that graffiti is in the wall there, and it runs slightly that way. Can you see it just runs slightly that way? So it's ever so slightly L-shaped. So that's the largest room at the back there. We've got another room just there, another one here, another one here, and another one behind me. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so we've got 5 rooms altogether. And if I just give a little pan around, you can see what I mean. But it's actually quite a big place. And it's just, like I said, I've just got nothing. I can't tell you anything, I don't know. These rooms could have been anything. They could have been downstairs bedrooms. I don't know. Could have been one of these could have been a medical room. Yeah, they could have been. I just don't know. It's really frustrating for me because I really want to tell you and I can't. And it's frustrating. But anyway, that's what we've got. Okay, go and have a look at some more. Let's go back that way. Actually, tell you what we'll do. We'll go, just go and have a look. There's nothing to see, but we'll go and have a look anyway. Okay, so I'm literally walking from one room to the next through the walls, or what would have been the walls. So the walls are really thin. They're not thick like nowadays. They're really thin walls. Really thin. They're almost like little wards, like little kind of wards, but I don't know. They just could have been anything in a house dating back to the early, say, 1900s. Who knows what they could have been used for. So this is the largest room at the back of the house. So we've got quite a large, if I spin around, we've got quite a large door there. So could this have been a garage? Could it have been? We've actually got two entrances. So there would have been a wall there. Then we've got a large door there, which doesn't give any indication that there would have been shutters, rollers, or any kind of something. But there could have been wooden doors. There could have been a metal door. Who knows? But this, I guess, this could have been a garage. Could have been. But then I can't imagine parking a vehicle in that tiny little space. So I don't know. And then if you look behind me, we've actually got another doorway, or maybe patio doors or something. Maybe that would have gone out into their garden or into their back of the house, so to speak. We just don't know. But anyway, so there we go, and you can see, if I just pan the camera back around this way, how far that house runs, all the way down there to that tiny little hole just down there. But anyway, let's go and have a look and do some more. There's not really much else I can show you, so this probably is the shortest, most uninteresting broadcast I've ever done. But I had to bring you in here. Well, I wanted to bring you in here because I really do want to take you guys into every single possible abandoned and derelict location that I can find in the UK. No matter how interesting or no matter how uninteresting, I want to take you there, because that's the whole point of Influencers, is that we visit and that we cover every single nook and cranny and corner of Great Britain in search of these fascinating places. And it's really strange, just before we go any further, as I mentioned earlier, and I've mentioned a couple of times already, that this was literally somewhere that I only found about 2 days ago, and it's a 5 or 10 minute walk away from Great Barr Hall, so there's possibility that maybe this house had some kind of connection with Great Barr Hall. Maybe people there came here when they were sick. Maybe that was convenient rather than going to a hospital or something. And Great Barr Hall was an old 13th century mansion, and it was a huge mansion. I mean, there's not much left now. There's only the main mansion house and what's left of the chapel, but it was absolutely massive. I mean it was almost like a stately home. If you can imagine, people watching now might know Audley End, or there's another place, is it Blenheim Palace? Something, it was kind of like that size. It covered a huge area, and so it's possible that maybe this house was built to compensate for people who fell sick, maybe staff and people who actually lived at Great Barr Hall, as well as the local people and that kind of thing who lived in Great Barr. Maybe they were able to stay here. Maybe this doctor's house was built to look after people who are sick or poorly. And so maybe that's why there's so many rooms, because people were able to sleep here, stay here, be treated here. Who knows? Who knows? It still makes it fascinating, but it's just lack of knowledge, lack of information that I can't give you. So that's basically all I can show you. But I really do want to take you to every single possible place that I can find. And it's really strange because this house is totally and utterly, I mean, not only is it completely abandoned and derelict, but it's completely surrounded by forest and trees. It's just absolutely completely secluded. As soon as you walk around the corner out of the path, you know, when I walked up to the camera and I started this broadcast, as soon as you go past the camera where it was and you go around the corner, the house disappears. It just completely disappears behind trees. You wouldn't even know it's here. And so there's some truth in behind that. There are forgotten worlds out there that are so hidden and secret in a way, not secret because nobody knows where they are, but secret because you can't necessarily see them, that make them more fascinating and interesting. But you know, it's just so important that I bring you to every location possible so that I can show you, so I can take you into places like this that are totally hidden from view, that even I didn't know up until 2 days ago existed. Bring you in here, show you around, so that you can come on this journey with me, so that we can cover every single possible place that I can take you. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you anymore. Let's go and have a look some more. Let's go and have a look. So we're going to go back. So we've come out. So we've come out that's where we were just a minute ago, in that room. So we've just come out this doorway, and now what we're going to do, we're going to walk back along what I'm calling the corridor. I'll go back towards the front of the house, and then have a quick look. Well, I say quick. We'll have a look around, and then I'm afraid that will be it. And you're probably thinking, good. But anyway, we'll finish because there's nothing else I can show you. So let's go through the trees and just clamber over the bricks. So all these bricks, even though the walls have collapsed, a lot of these bricks have come down from upstairs. I mean, there's what's left. If I show you behind me, you see that behind there? Ooh. So obviously that's what's left of a wall upstairs, where the upstairs would have been. That's all that's left. But anyway, just clamber over some more bricks and have a look around a bit more. So, ooh. Okay, so that's now looking back towards where we came from. And we're now in what I'm thinking would have been possibly the front room or something like that. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because it's what's left of a fireplace just here. So that's what's left of the fireplace. Having said that, there is nothing to say that there's a chimney. So maybe this was just a mantelpiece rather than a fireplace. Maybe it's just a mantelpiece. Because there's just no... And see, there's a hole. There's a hole just... I don't know if you can show you, look. There's a hole there. Oh, do you know what? My bearings are terrible. There. And I can see that it goes up. So maybe that was once, or this was once, a fireplace. But then it was blocked off and used as a mantelpiece. But this is the only room in the whole house that's got anything like this. So I'm assuming this could have been the front room. Because of that. So let's go. So just give you a quick look around. As you can see, corner. Got a great big window there. And there would have been obviously a division between this bit and that little bit, because you've got this, what's left of our partition. And there's actually tiles there as well. So I don't know. I really don't. A small separate room of some kind anyway. And the only artifacts in this entire house, apart from the bricks, are tiny bits of fragments of carpet. That's all that's left. And it's possible that the carpet wasn't necessarily from this room, it could have been from any room. However, there are, and this is the only room that's got what's left of the original carpet, and I'll pick a piece up for you. So there we go. So that's the original carpet that would have been somewhere in this house, possibly this room, possibly somewhere else. And there's a couple of bits, there's another piece there, and a couple of bits just down there. And that's it. That's the only artifacts. That's the only artifacts are left. Those bits of carpet. Okay, let's go down this way. I'll just clamber over some more bricks. Ooh, just gotta watch what I'm doing. There we go. So we're now, this kind of branches off. So you've got like, what I would say was the front of the house, just there. And then you've got like, I suppose in a way, it's almost like, if you can imagine 3 squares and 1 square on the top, so it's almost like a pyramid shape. That's kind of what shape this house is. So you've got the front, and then you've got the 2, well, I'll say 2 wings, or 2 long parts that stick out either side. That's as vague as I can be. You can kind of get an idea of the shape of the house. Just looking to see if there's anything on the floor. I've been looking for anything on the floor, like, well, I don't know, anything, fixtures or anything, any artifacts, and there's just nothing. Now, reports do say, for whatever reason, that another reason why this house is so abandoned, or not so abandoned and derelict, but so demolished, or in such a demolished state, is that people, and it doesn't say who, but people in general, were actually stealing the bricks from here to use for other buildings or for somewhere else, for either personal use or general use. So people are actually coming here and taking and stealing the bricks from this house to use somewhere else. But anyway, so we've got this room here, so that's where we walk from, right the other end, and we've got this fairly big room. So you see here it goes, got a big kind of doorway there that goes out into the woodlands, and then that's behind us, and obviously there would have been a roof and an upstairs. So let's go down that way, have a little bit of a pan around, and then I'm going to finish because there's just nothing else I can show you, unfortunately. So let's go have a look. So we're now clambering over lots and lots of bricks that have been here for a long time. They're just covered in moss and everything. So we've got another wall here. So it would have been 1, 2, 3. Now this room is obviously the highest in respect to the floors, the highest. So obviously the majority of the bricks are falling down there. But we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got another 5. Yeah, 5 rooms. So almost in fact identical to the other end. You can see what's left of upstairs, and then obviously upstairs is completely gone. So I can see the old beams, the old bits of wood that would have been where upstairs would have been. And then we've got two great big windows. 1, 2, and then we had a wall there. You can see it, big wall, and a massive, huge. Well, it could have been 2 separate windows or 1 big one, but you can look at the size of it. Massive gap. I mean, don't know. It's quite possible that maybe that was a continuous wall and it's just collapsed in as well. But I'm just going by, every room's got some kind of windows. There could have been 2 separate windows, 2 small windows. It's just in such a poor state. And some of the bricks have actually fallen out into the woodlands as well, so we just don't know. So let's go down here. So this is the sorry, got snagged on the brambles. You had a bit of a look at the ceiling then. Okay, so we're in the last room of this house. In fact, probably, believe it or not, the most intact room in this entire house, in the sense that it's got what's left of a ceiling, and that's it. So if I just pan the camera, so you can see lots of graffiti behind me. So you've got a window just over there, another window just there, and then you've got another massive, another window there. You can see there's what's left of a wall, so that could have been another doorway that come in here. And then if you look behind me, that's where we've walked from, that way. And if I pan the camera around, you can see what's left of the roof. That's all that's left. I don't want the camera to flop, I'm just going to hold it. So that's all that's left. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's just walk out this side and we'll walk around the front and we'll go back where we started, then we'll finish. Okay, so we're now just outside, so if I can, so it's just where we walk through. You can just see. So that's what's left of the house there. You can see upstairs that way. And if I show you behind me, you can see what I mean about being totally secluded and hidden away. Just totally hidden. There's nothing, just covered in, well, surrounded by trees and woodlands. So there we go. So how's about we walk? Let's go around the front where we started and we're finished. Let's go around this way. in a kind of way, it's got two feelings about the place. First of all, I feel it's very peaceful and very tranquil, but it's also got, I wouldn't say an eerie feeling, but kind of, I don't know, a little bit strange. And I think it's because it's just so shrouded and covered by trees, and it's not a dark woods, it's not, you know, but I don't think I'd like to be out here at night time, and I'm certainly not going to come here during the night and do a night one, simply because there's just too many bricks, too much rubble, and it would just be too dangerous. But I don't know, there's kind of a little bit of a strange feeling to the place, because it's just covered by, or surrounded by, these trees. I just give it that kind of, I don't know, more, I suppose, more, in a way, more of an abandoned, derelict kind of feeling to it. Because I mean, it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, it's beautiful out here. I've seen squirrels, there's lots of wildlife out here. I can hear the traffic a little bit in the background. It's a beautiful location, and the sun's lovely and warm, and it's shining through the trees and everything, but it's got that little bit of a strange atmosphere, simply because it's just so abandoned and derelict and just there. It's not in the middle of nowhere, it's just there. And you've just got all these trees, and it's just tucked away. Fascinating, but it's just tucked away. Oh, almost got poked in the eye. It's all happening to me today. I get a phone call, a text message, poke in the eye, a couple of other things. Oh, hang on. Can I get through this way? Okay, this will be the first. We can't get this way, we'll have to go back. Sorry, guys. I'm not doing too well today, am I? Not really. Okay, let's go back where we came. Right, let's go back this way. Ooh, taking the woods with me. Okay, let's go back through this way. Oh, sorry. I'm getting hooked and snagged and things by brambles. Right, go back down this way. Should have come this way first. Never mind. Okay, so back through the rooms. Whatever rooms they were, I don't know, but we're going back through them. Okay, past. I've just seen something here, look. Not much to look at, but what's left of a light fitting, I would have said. Yep. What's left of a light fitting. But there's just nothing. So yeah, what's left of a light fitting, let's put that back. Okay, let's go back this way, past the toilet. That's the one room I did know, and the other one. Okay, let's go under the tree. Okay, so we're now going back past the downstairs basement, what I think could be the kitchen, and then we'll come back this way. So, there you go, a very sketchy, very vague kind of live broadcast, but I'm hoping that you still found it interesting anyway. Interesting in the sense that it was yet another location, totally abandoned and derelict, and just tucked away, just snuck away in this beautiful countryside, you know, just tucked away. And it's just amazing to think that that was the old doctor's house. So all those years ago, possibly 100 years, we don't even know how long the doctor lived there for. But I'm hoping you found it interesting in a way, even if just a little bit. Now, that's about all I can tell you, and that's about as much as I can show you. I really can't do any more than that. But as I mentioned earlier, it's just, you know, because I'm so passionate and so fascinated and interested, and because I absolutely love doing this. I can't tell you how much I love doing it. I wish I had somebody with me who could come with me sometimes, and I'm hoping over the next couple of days, maybe next couple of weeks, I will have somebody with me for a change, just a one-off, but it'd be nice to have the company and just have somebody with me to share this experience with. But I do love doing these live broadcasts. I do love coming to these fascinating locations, and they're all fascinating in their own way. Even if there is nothing really much to talk about, even if there isn't really much to see, they're still fascinating anyway, because they still hold, you know, there's still memories, and there's still stories attached to the fabrics, the very fabrics of the walls of these places. And it's amazing to think that that house belonged to a doctor, you know, and to think of all the people who may have gone in and out of that house, like I said, maybe stayed there, got treated there, You know, people from Great Barr Hall may have stayed there. Very well-off people may have stayed there. Being staying in a doctor's house, I wouldn't have imagined would have been very cheap. So maybe very well-off people, especially the people from Great Barr Hall, you know, maybe well-off people stayed there. We don't know, but it still makes it fascinating anyway. So as always, thank you so much for your patience, for your time, and for joining me in this next chapter, in this next episode of Influences of the Times, in this fascinating series, which I have to say is an extremely long series. I have an awful lot, and I know I've said this before in my previous broadcast, I have so many locations in my mind you wouldn't believe, and we're going to be travelling. I'm going to be taking you all over the United Kingdom, every place I can think of. We'll be travelling, I'll be taking you with me, and we'll be broadcasting to you live, where possible, from every possible location. So we've got lots in store for you, so stay tuned, keep watching. I'm just sorry that it wasn't or couldn't have been any more fascinating or interesting for you, but I hope that you did find it interesting in a way. Now, stay tuned. Now tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed, and I really am hoping and praying that it's all going to go well. I'm not going to give you any clues, and I'm not going to tell you where we're going or where the location is. However, tomorrow I'm going to be taking you, and I'm not going to tell you which direction, but I am going to be taking you over 100 miles away from here to our next location. Now, I've had a look, I've done some research. It looks like the location's still there, and I'm hoping and praying that we're going to be able to do a live broadcast tomorrow. And it will be probably tomorrow afternoon, because obviously I need to travel to that place. So it'll probably be around about this time tomorrow afternoon. We'll be doing a live broadcast from another fascinating location. Again, there's not a lot of information. I will try and do some more research later today, and also tomorrow on the way to this location, to find out if I can find out any more. However, tomorrow could be, if we do, or if I can do a live broadcast, it's possible that maybe, like today, I'm not going to be able to give you a lot of information, because there are just some places that just for whatever reason the information is just not available. However, I do know what the location is. That's maybe all I can share with you. However, if we can do a live broadcast, I will take you there tomorrow, and we'll have a good look around. We'll have a tour, and we'll just see how tomorrow goes. But I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get some kind of information for you, but bear with me, okay? So bear with me if tomorrow I'm not able to give you any information. It's because there's just none available, but I'll do my best. And just like today, I will try and make it as interesting for you as possible, and I will certainly take into every single possible nook and cranny of that location and give you a good look around, take lots of photographs so you can see. So I'm hoping that you will join me tomorrow as Influences of the Times continues to search the United Kingdom for more forgotten and fascinating places, to uncover those hidden secrets and stories that are just lost and very quickly being diminished from our ever-changing world. So I'm hoping you'll join me tomorrow for another live episode of Influences of the Times in this fascinating series. Until tomorrow, and hopefully you'll join me. If for any reason I'm unable to do a live broadcast tomorrow, and if I'm not able to take any photographs, if you don't hear anything or see anything tomorrow afternoon, then you'll know that unfortunately for whatever reason I couldn't do a live broadcast and I couldn't take any photographs. If I can do one or the other, I will, but there's a possibility I might not be able to do either. We just don't know. But hopefully you'll join me tomorrow, and I'll be able to see you tomorrow and do another live broadcast. Until then, enjoy the rest of your day. God bless, take care, and thank you so much for joining me as we continue to search the UK in search of forgotten and abandoned places. Until the next time, you take care of yourselves. God bless. Bye-bye.